Welcome to the SPX Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is Wednesday, October 10, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at negative 784. NASDAQ advanced decline differential closed at negative 216. We had 5 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 7 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, 564,000 contracts traded on the VIX today, with 89 million in total premiums paid. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in October, we saw a 2.43 reading, which is bullish, with 15% of the total premiums paid. And in November, a 0.61, which is neutral, with 37% of the total premiums paid. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We were down 9 handles, 8.92, 0.62% for the day, and we hit negative 2 sigma, which was our target here, 1432, and now we may be looking at negative 3 sigma, which is 1421. Let's go here to this chart, 60-minute chart, and we'll look at the weekly support, pivot, and resistance. We talked about this 1425. That was going to be our lower target. We did not hit that yet, but we're seeing fairly downside pressure here on the markets overall. 3 down days so far, and we continue to be selling off. 4 down days, sorry now. Big down days after selling off also Friday. You could see it here. Big reversal on Friday. We talked about selling the highs here, and after that we just started going lower. For the moving averages here on SPX, we have this 50-day moving average at 1425. That's in line with the target that we just talked about, so that's going to be a very important level to hold. That was also the high here we made on March or beginning of April. That's going to be a pretty important level here, so we want to hold this 1425, maybe a good level here, a fairly good pullback, and then start rallying back higher. If we fail to bounce off this level 1425, our next level to watch would be 1400. That's gonna be here the game plan for SPX. Now let's go for SPY. Here we have the daily chart for SPY, and we hit the 50-day moving average today. So far we are holding this level of 142.91. That's gonna be pretty important. Same as SPX, we talked about this level. Highs of April and March, so that's gonna be very important. Maybe start getting a bounce here up to this 20-day moving average of 145.40, 145.37. That's gonna be our target here. Above that, maybe try to make another higher high, because we're starting to make lower highs here, and if we make this third one, maybe bounce here and make a lower high, that would not be as bullish for the market. We're starting a downward trend line here. Going for the Qs. Here we have the daily chart for the Qs. This is the NASDAQ ETF. We broke 50-day moving average yesterday. We talked about maybe going a little lower, and we looked at this chart, maybe here 68 level. We talked about maybe 66, and here on our weekly support, pivot, and resistance, 66.40 was going to be our target here, and 67.29 we broke that, went lower. Now maybe looking at 66.46, and we definitely need some bounce here on the NASDAQ ETF. As you can see here, we are a little bit oversold on the short term. We are between negative 2 and negative 3 sigma. So that's a little bit oversold in the short term. Maybe get some bounce here, try to go for the 69 level, and if we fail, maybe go for the 64.5. Not very bullish chart here for the NASDAQ ETF. Of course, Apple having a big weight on it, since it has pulled more than 10% from its highs. Apple. IWM, we have the Russell 2000 ETF. This is the risk on, risk off ETF, and we were down today 0.24, which was not as bad as the other markets. Here we could see it. For a big, we're riding the -1, -2 sigma channel, and our next target here maybe would be the 80 level, 200-day moving average. We are breaking a very important level here and closing at below that level. We're gonna watch this here. We are right at the level we talked about. Maybe want a confirmation tomorrow. We broke it intraday perfectly broke this 50-day moving average and our support here. And now we want to break this 82.34 level and close below it to get a confirmation about this bearish signal, maybe going to this 200-day moving average of 80. That's going to be here the target. We're going to watch this tomorrow. IWM, very important level here. Now GLD. Here we have the GLD daily chart, and we have a flat day, 0.03% for the day, closing at 170.80. Pretty much flat, nothing going on here. We wanted to go up and break that 20-day moving average again. Looks like that's gonna be a little resistance, 170, 166, and we're looking for 169 on the downside, so that's gonna be important here. Break that level or try to get a little more pullback and then start going even higher. That's gonna be what we're looking here on the daily chart for the GLD. Last chart, we're gonna look at VIX. Here we have the VIX chart, daily chart for VIX, and we come here to this one to get a better look at it. We broke 0 sigma a couple of days ago. We talked about maybe going to this 200-day moving average here, and we are approaching it. 1629 was the close for VIX, and the 200-day moving average is at 1813. A little more to go here on the VIX, and then if we fail here would be bullish for the market, bullish for equities. Worth mentioning here, the McClellan Oscillator. Here we are oversold. You can see it here, negative 135. This was almost the reading we had next. Last time we got a pullback, and the one time before that. So this is important level. This is not extremely oversold. We could see here below 300. That would be a very oversold level. But we are right now at negative 135. But it's worth having this in mind. This is very short-term indicator, oversold or overbought level. So watch this McClellan Oscillator for your market timing here. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your HAMSI Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.